Hi everyone, good day to all. Welcome back to the class Corporate Accounting, and we are discussing the topic computation of profit prior to incorporation, and this is part 3. In the last class, we had seen the solution for the two set of questions, and in this class also we are going to see how the profit is to be computed prior to and post incorporation period, and two problems are taken. We will see how the question is to be solved. Myself, Dr. A. Devi, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, KCS Kakinada College of Arts and Science. Before we go into the question, we will see what are the steps to be followed for computing profit prior to incorporation. Step number 1, gross profit is to be computed if it is not given in the question. Then time ratio and sales ratio, if it is not given in the question, then we have to compute time ratio and sales ratio. And the required notes to be prepared, note number 1 to 5. Note number 1, revenue from operation. Note number 2, employee benefit expenditure. Note number 3, finance cost. Note number 4, depreciation and amortization. Note number 5, other expenses. Note number 1 is an income, and from 2 to 5 are the notes for expenditure. Finally, we have to prepare a statement showing profit and loss. So in this statement, we can find the answer, that is of profit or loss suffered prior to and post incorporation period. Come, we will go into the problem and we will see the solution for the same. Question number 1. Ravi Limited was incorporated on 30th June 2015 to take over the business of Mr. Mohan as from 1st January 2015. So the date of acquisition is 1st January 2015 and date of incorporation is 30th June 2015. The financial accounts of the business for the year ended 31st December 2015 disclose the following information. The account is closed on 31st December 2015, and this is going to be our third important date to find time ratio. So with these three important dates, we have to find time ratio, and the details are given. Particulars, sales, purchase and gross profit are given. So with the information of sales, we can find the sales ratio, and sales has been given as two, like pre-incorporation period sale and post-incorporation period sale. So with this, we can find the sales ratio. Because the sales ratio is to be computed, the sales related for the period of pre-incorporation is to be compared with sales related to the period of post-incorporation. So 1,20,000 is to 1,80,000 will be the ratio for sales ratio. Then purchases are given for two different periods, pre and post-incorporation. Gross profit is also given. So how these gross profit is found? This gross profit is found by deducting purchase from sales. So in the same way, for pre and post incorporation, we can deduct purchase from sale to find the actual gross profit during the period of pre incorporation and for the post incorporation. Followed by expenses are given, salaries. While reading the expenses, we have to make note of under which note it is to be charged and what basis it is to be apportioned. For example, salaries, and it is to be charged under note number 2, employee benefit expenditure, and the same must be apportioned using time ratio. Selling expenses should be charged under note number 5 using sales ratio. Depreciation should charged under note number 4, depreciation and amortization, using time ratio. Director remuneration is under note number 5, and this is the expenditure related to post incorporation period. Debenture interest, this is a finance cost, should go for note number 3, that is a finance cost, and this is expenditure related to post incorporation period, because only companies can issue a debenture and for which company is paying an interest. Then administrative expenses will be charged under note number 5 using time ratio. The same will be apportioned to pre and post incorporation period. Followed by this statement, the question continues. You are requested to prepare a statement apportioning the balance of profit between the periods prior to and after incorporation, and show the profit and loss appropriation account for the year ended 31st December 2015. So the solution is like, we have to compute time ratio. Pre-incorporation period and post-incorporation period are equal, and hence the ratio is 1:1. And to find sales ratio, the sales related to pre-incorporation and post-incorporation is to be compared. 1,20,000 and 1,80,000. 2:3 is going to be the sales ratio. And note number 1, revenue from operation. Here we can put an actual gross profit because the information is clearly given in the question. The gross profit is to be computed by deducting sales purchase from the sales, and hence the purchase of the pre-incorporation period is deducted from purchase of sale of pre-incorporation period. So 1,20,000 minus 75,000, 45,000 will be the pre-incorporation period gross profit. And as like pre-incorporation, the purchase related to post-incorporation period is to be deducted from sales related to post-incorporation period. And hence 60,000 will be the gross profit in the post-incorporation period. Note number 2, employee benefit expenses, salary. The same must be apportioned using time ratio. The value given in the question is 15,000 and 1:1, and hence 7,500 and 7,500. Note number 3, finance cost. Only one finance cost is given, that is of debenture interest, and debenture interest is the interest expenditure related to post-incorporation period. So the total entire 90,000 should be in the post-incorporation column. Note number 4, depreciation and amortization. Depreciation should be apportioned using time ratio. So 1,500 is to be apportioned, 750 for pre and post-incorporation period. Note number 5, other expenses. Selling expenses is to be apportioned using sales ratio, and director remuneration or expenditure related to post-incorporation period. Administrative expenditure is to be apportioned using time ratio. So the total of note number 5 is 8,250, 3,450, 4,800. And all these notes value is to be carried over to statement showing profit and loss, for which revenue from operation, that is A, 1,05,000 is the total, 45,000, 60,000 pre and post incorporation. And expenditure, write all the notes and the total of all the notes. 15,000, note number 2, 15,000, 7,500, 7,500. Note number 3, 90, entire to post incorporation. Note number 4, 1,500, 750, 750. So 15,000, 7,000, 7,500, 7,500, 90 will be in the post incorporation column, 1,500, 750, 750. And note number 5, 8,250, 3,450, 4,800. So everything is posted into the statement. Now totaling all the expenses, it comes 24,840, 11,700, 13,140. Deducting the expenditure from the income, we will get profit for the period. So 24,840 is to be deducted from 1,05,000, and 11,700 is to be deducted from 45,000, 13,140 is to be deducted from 60,000. So the profit prior to incorporation is 33,300, and profit related to post incorporation period is 46,860. Good. In the same way, we will see the solution for question number 2. Z Limited purchased business on 1/4/2013. So this is the date of acquisition of business. The company obtained certificate of incorporation on 31st July 2013. And this is going to be the date of incorporation. From the following particulars for the period ended 31st March 2014, ascertain profit prior to incorporation and divisible profit. 31st March is the accounting closing. So with these 3 dates, we can find time ratio. Total sales up to 31st March 2014, rupees 10 lakh. So the total sale for the year is 10 lakh. Sale from 1/3/13 to 31/7/13, which means sales related to the period pre-incorporation is 2,50,000. So the remaining 7,50,000 will be for post-incorporation period sale. Gross profit for the year 2,12,000. Gross profit is given in the question, so we need not to find. Expenses debited to P&L account where? So all these are the expenditure. Don't think that it is a P&L account. The particulars are listed out. Rent. Yes, while reading the question itself, you have to make note of it. Rent, note number 5, time ratio. Insurance, note number 5, time ratio. Salaries, note number 2, time ratio. Selling expenses, note number 5. Sales ratio, advertisement, note number 5. Sales ratio, audit fee, note number 5. Time ratio, and interest paid to vendors up to 1st September 2013. So the interest paid to vendors, if it is the interest paid to vendors in the pre-incorporation period itself, then it is should go only for the pre-incorporation period. But it is the interest paid up to September 2013. The date of incorporation is 31/7/2013. That is in the July itself, the pre-incorporation period gets over. But for August and September also, the interest has been paid to vendors. So the actual interest paid during the pre-incorporation period and the post-incorporation period is to be separated, and the actual interest amount to be placed in the under finance cost, like schedule number 3 for pre and post-incorporation period. General expenses, note number 5. Time ratio, interest on debenture, finance cost, that is note number 3, and post-incorporation period expenditure. Printing and stationery, note number 5, time ratio. Depreciation on machinery, note number 4, time ratio. Commission on sale, note number 5. Sales ratio, director fee, note number 5. Post-incorporation period expenses, preliminary expenses, note number 5, post-incorporation. Bad debts, rupees 850 related to pre-incorporation. As the actual amount is given, we have to place the actual amount in note number 5. Bad debts, 850 for pre-incorporation period. Balance, out of 2,400, 850 is pre-incorporation period bad debt, and the remaining will be in the post-incorporation column. Okay. See, time ratio 4:8, 1:2. Sales ratio 2,50,000, 7,50,000, 1:3. Computation of interest paid to vendors. So here we can find like this, 4 months is a pre-incorporation period, and after July 7, for the month of August, they paid interest to the vendor. So 1 month. So 4 months, 4:1. The total interest paid to vendors is to be apportioned as 4:1, and 4 times of interest should go in the pre-incorporation period column, and 1 times of interest should go for post-incorporation column. Note number 1, revenue from operation, gross profit is to be apportioned using sales ratio. Note number 2, employee benefit, salary is the expenditure given in the question. And note number 3, finance cost, interest paid to vendors, actually paid, totally 5,000. 4 times of interest was in the pre-incorporation period, and 1 time of interest post-incorporation period. And debenture should go for post-incorporation column only. Totaling it, you'll get 9,000, 4,000, 5,000. And note number 4, depreciation should be apportioned basis of time ratio. Then note number 5, write all the expenses which is given, and it is to be apportioned using the required time ratio and sales ratio. Director fee and preliminary expenses of post-incorporation expenditure, bad debts, the actual amount, that is 850 is the pre-incorporation, because it is given in the question. Otherwise, bad debts is to be apportioned using sales ratio, and the total has been, and all these total is to be placed in statement. By placing all these total, deduct expenditure from the income, we will get 15,850 for the as the profit related to pre-incorporation period. 70,650 is a profit related to post-incorporation period. Thank you very much for your patient listening. We will meet in the next class.